Maybe not so nice. We don't know what's going on under the scenes. This is the pod. I'm sorry. I'll take it seriously. I might not. Just give me a minute.
We're tuning in.
Oh my God. That's something they say. This is rolling?
This is rolling, yeah.
What up? How you doing?
I was recording when you were talking about me and Theo living together.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, she lives here. He lives here. This is a house. House is a home, but it's only a home with the people inside the home. Thoughts to think about. Spoken word. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Have you done this before?
No, not at all. I'm really nervous, actually.
Are you sweating?
A little bit. Showering is important. Did you know that showering actually makes you less smelly?
Shut up. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so how do we talk about the tea that we're drinking?
Sure.
Run a show. I don't know it. I'm here. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Well, we have options for what we want to do first or only. So, what do you know about tea?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Okay.
I know that I drink it when I'm tired, also to go to bed. There's two different kinds. I know that I drink tea to go to bed. It's called sleepy time tea.
Okay. Fun fact, that's technically not a tea, but a tisane, which is an herbal blend that does not have caffeine or the Camellia sinensis plant, which is what the tea plant is.
Oh wow, you do know a lot about it. Okay, this is going to be a good pod. I'm going to also learn something here. Okay, cool.
Education. In tea, there are 6 different kinds of tea. I said that there were 6 different types of teas. There are actually 7. And I forgot to name one, oolong. And now we can get back to the interview. There is like a dark or a pu'er tea. There's a black/red tea. So our black tea, like an English breakfast tea here in the West, is technically a red tea in the East. So that's why I say black and red in one, because it's the same thing. Then there's green tea, white tea, yellow tea, and recently there has been a cultivation of purple tea, but only in Kenya.
Oh, smokes. That's a lot of teas to remember.
And a lot of people, when they say they drink tea, they're like, yeah, I use tea to go to sleep. But actually, you probably drink a tisane, which is that herbal blend, because tea has 3 components in it that make it tea and also can get you into a state called tea drunk. And that's caffeine, L-theanine, and different antioxidants and catechins. So these work together for that entourage effect to happen where you can be tea drunk.
So we're gonna chill out, but also get hype from the caffeine and the L-theanine.
It depends on where we want to go. It's a choose your own adventure.
I wanna feel like relaxed, but also kind of pumped up. Is that what this is?
So yellow tea is unique because it is one of the most processed of all the different types of tea. So it does it's very similar to, it's funny because this one kind of tastes similar to more of an oolong tea for me, but I feel like categorically it's more in line with a green tea. And actually I think these look pretty similar too because of how these are both processed. So you can see it even says on here, the picking is the bud and 1 and 2 of the leaves. So how you pick the tea plant determines what kind of tea you're going to use it for.
Smell better though. I like the smell.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do this one. So this is Dragonwell green tea.
Dragonwell green tea.
And this one's from Music City Tea. It says on the description, it is one of the oldest, most famous, best Chinese green tea. Once grown only for emperors. It is #1 Chinese green tea.
Oh, wow.
So, wow, you're getting the best right off the bat. So don't expect this all the time.
I didn't realize I was royalty. Oh, wow, it does smell good.
Yeah, it has more of like floral tones, like higher notes, but it's still grassy a little bit like a green tea, but it's like very delicate.
Yeah, I like it.
So this is the wash technically. So we're not going to drink this, or we can have like a little sample of it.
It's like G water in a G station. You don't drink it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We'll keep that one in.
Okay, I laugh at my own jokes.
Like I tell jokes about, hey, did you see that banana?
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah. There was no pun to it. Did you see the banana?
Oh, I did have...
What are you doing? You're pouring it on the Pikachu.
Yeah, so this is my Pikachu tea pet. I'm very proud of it. So...
Whoa. You pour it on Pikachu? And then what happens?
It's good luck.
Oh, my God.
So when they, like, back in China, when they were making Yixing teapots, they would have Yixing clay left over from making teapots. This isn't a Yixing pot, but they would use the leftover clay and they would make tea pets to go on their tea trays. And then depending on like what animal or creature you make, it'll bring you luck in that area of your life.
What?
Yeah.
So you just pour it on a Pikachu. That's your character, right?
Yeah.
Learning a lot today.
Yeah. Anyways, my funny story.
Is this a...
This is the wash. So technically this isn't the first thing, but you can kind of get
just
some of the notes.
Just kind of sip
it. And you want to slurp it. So how to taste and flavor, if I remember this correctly, flavor is taste plus aroma. So you aerate it to get more of the aroma in like the up your nose and into your olfactory system.
Okay. I'm trying to think about this. So I inhale, take a sip, inhale again.
Just slurp it. Slurping will do all the work for you.
Readjusting. Hello.
Hello.
This is pod.
Fun little fact.
You're full on doing this. You know that, right?
I guess. I just like, I don't know. There have been so many false starts with my creative endeavors. This one still doesn't feel real. I'm like, yeah, sure, maybe I'm doing it. But will it continue?
I don't know. I feel that. A lot of things I do in life are always like stop and start. It all kind of depends on like who I'm doing it with too. Because if it's like a collaboration project, it ends up being something that's just like, we start it and then it stops. Then they get busy. Then it stops. Then I get busy and it stops.
Yeah.
It's really hard to like be consistent.
Yeah. I feel like that's the problem with being a creator in general. It's just like you have peaks and valleys, and how you go about navigating those peaks and valleys is what determines how successful you're going to be, I feel like.
I 100% agree. Okay, wait. I'll get into that in a second. So I slurp this next half, right?
Yes. So this is technically the first Steve.
I inhaled.
Does it feel like you're drowning in a pool?
A little bit. Now, do you have to do the whole cup all at once, or you just like...
You can do like little sips.
Okay.
Yeah. It's meant to be like however you choose to enjoy it.
Okay.
That's what tea is. It's like there's no right or wrong way. Like even people ask like, "Oh, how do you brew it? Like how long do you let tea steep?" It's like it's however long you want it to.
Okay.
Like it depending on how you brew it, you'll get different characters out of the tea. Overall, it's like how you choose to enjoy it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's not like coffee where there's like hard and set rules and you have to do this, otherwise you fucked up the entire thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can burn coffee, which I didn't know was a thing, but if you let it for too long, it like tastes like kind of burnt.
Oh, like roasting it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can do that with anything. Tea too. Like, and I don't know, I need to look into there's this one tea that smells straight up like campfire smoke. And it smells almost artificial, but I think it is a natural processing. Lapsang Sojong, I think is the name of it. It was one of the teas that was actually dumped in the Boston Tea Party.
Holy smokes. So I actually have been thinking about this a lot because coffee gives me like, if I drink a lot of it, I get like mad anxiety. So I haven't drank enough tea to know if it has the same thing. Like for some reason, like if I drink coffee, like to a certain point, like I'll just start panicking for no reason. I have no idea. When nothing's going on, I'm gonna be sitting watching TV, and all of a sudden I'm just like, holy smokes, the TV's getting bigger. Like,
yeah. Well, and caffeine is the biggest component there's also like different acids and other chemical components in coffee that make it that effective.
Right.
But going back to the three components that tea has that makes it so unique, and also why it actually helps reduce anxiety when you drink it, but you still get an energy boost, which is that tea drunk state. I've had that at work a lot where I will say whenever I drink tea after not sleeping great, I don't feel the same tea drunkness as if I like slept well, but then I drink tea and I just feel like, I just had like the star from Mario, you know? Oh. So caffeine's one part. L-theanine is another big part of that trifecta. So L-theanine is known for reducing anxiety, helping you like calm the nervous system down while also boosting your mood at the same time.
Holy smokes. So I've been just doing it. So theoretically, if you were to drink coffee and take L-theanine, does it have the same effect, or is it just something that's in the tea that makes that effect happen?
I don't know. It would be a good experiment. But I think because of the amount of caffeine that's naturally in tea, and it's kind of similar to when you're taking CBD, like doing a full spectrum CBD. So do you know a lot about like the science behind why CBD works. And so
I used to have a vape pen, but
so
that was different though. Those were dabs, I'm pretty sure.
I have a story for you later.
Okay.
I don't know if this will make the pod, but it is.
It might. I mean, I have no shame here. Like,
I might. How was your Blackbird experience?
My Blackbird experience was very, very educational. I learned so much about what not to do and what to do.
Yeah.
Being in the studio when they were actually tracking bands was probably the most educational thing.
Well, and I've heard that Belmont, you don't even get to like touch microphones until like the 4th year.
I heard that too. Actually, you know what's funny? When I was in Blackbird, I had a lot of friends at the time that were going to Belmont, and they weren't experiencing the same things as I was. And like I was talking about, you know, like working on the console and things like that, and like none of them had even touched a console yet, which I thought was crazy because our program's what, like 6 months? And you do like everything within 6 months. It's almost like
we got to touch tape.
Yeah, I still recorded tape with Tony today. And that's really fun too. And like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't know what I'm doing. Tony didn't go to Blackbird, but like still I would not even know what's going on. We haven't started cutting up the tape to like splice into takes, but
that's going to be fun though.
That's going to be really fun.
Cuz you're just doing like full send.
Yeah,
whatever happens.
It's one and done. We're going to call the project Getting Real.
Oh, that's cute.
I know, right?
That's cute.
Or at least that's what I've pitched to him. And we haven't like confirmed it, but I'm pretty positive that's what it's going to be. Yeah, oh my God, tape is so cool. But also at the same time, I hate tape. Like it's really annoying.
I'm very grateful for modern technology that we don't have to.
I do the 93 takes. Like I'm trying to get one thing done. That's practice time if it's by myself, if I'm being honest.
That's a good point.
Because like you don't always have time to practice everything. You know, so like if you're by yourself and you're in your own home studio and you're tracking and you're being like, I need to get this part down, but you need it to be like really perfect. Mm-hmm. Like I just did vocals for a track and I sent it over to the guy I'm working with and he was like, this is garbage. And I did like at least 100 takes and it was still bad. But like now that 100 takes was now a practice of me doing it 100 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you know what you need to do?
With tape? How the fuck would you do that? One and done, or you have to really practice it beforehand?
Yeah. Well, and I think it goes back to like the essence of like why we created recording, why recording was invented. It was to capture amazing performances to begin with. And I think that's something as, you know, we're moving forward into people producing in their bedrooms and more modern ways of making music. We're forgetting that that's the original reason why this thing exists.
Yeah. I'll be so honest with you. Tony gives me shit all the time for it. He's like, you're a musician. Like there is a difference. There is the bedroom musician and then there is the one it is the one and done because it was a live gig. Like there are two different types and you have to know which one you are. You can't really play both sides of the field because if you're looking for that improvised feel and things like that, then you need to practice doing that before you get there. That's a whole atmosphere that like you just have to know that you have that kind of confidence in yourself that you can pull it off in one take. And like a few times I've been able to do that. I've been in a couple of sessions where I was like, oh, there was just magic in the air that day. And I was like, that was a great take.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe the second or first, but then you like sit there and you're by yourself and you're hitting like 53, 54. And you're like, all right, now it's just rehearsal. Like you're practicing and then all the magic's gone.
Do you find that to happen more when you're working by yourself versus when you're working with other people?
I find that when I'm by myself, I'm more creative freely because I don't have somebody telling me like, hey, I'm looking for you to do this. And I'm able to just try a bunch of things. Mm-hmm. When somebody's in the room, it's kind of like, hey, they're directing me to do this. Unless they just hire me to be me, which is fun too, but it's a hard playing field because when I am with people, there's that pressure of being like, okay, you don't want to waste anybody's time. Like they're paying for this. And like, it's very, very difficult to just be like, hey, can we run that back for a minute? I messed up. Like that's really hard to say, believe it or not, through a talk back when everybody's recording. Cause you're like, you're the person that screwed up. And that's hard to deal with. So for those things, I'm always try to be very prepared as best as you can. Yeah. Sometimes you don't know until you get there, you know, what's going on.
Yeah. Cause for me, I feel like more times than not, I don't have that. Like I have to work at it. I have to get those like 63, 64 takes in to get that one take. Like this song that I showed you, it's taken me fucking ever to get done. Like, I've worked at it so hard. But then, like, the first song I recorded for this project, it took, like, less than a week. And it was, like, done. And I was like, there's nothing else better I could do for this.
Those moments are so magical. And I wish that I had them all the time. I love big things. Like, I'm not a small person kind of thing. Like, I play a ton of instruments. I'm an audio engineer. I'm a luthier because I was just like, music's cool. I want to do the whole damn thing. Mm-hmm. So my whole life's like that. I'm either in it or I'm not. I don't do the halfway thing. Like, on the guitars that I'm building right now, like, it's full on, like, every detail's got to be like perfect for me. You know, like the ones that are specialized to me. Like, I'm not cool with just making a Strat. Everybody makes a Strat.
Yeah, because you're making your own, like, signature guitars, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I guess they're my own signature, but they're built to, like, they're like the size of me. Like, they're actually carved. Like, I measured the circumference of my leg and then carved that comfort to it.
Jeez.
Yeah, because it's not going to work when I get fatter or if I get skinnier, but, like, it'll still be the same-ish shape. But, like,
it's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Remember when I was that size?
Yeah. With that being said.
Do you want to hear the stupidest thing I've ever said to a customer?
Shoot. I do, actually. I love this. This is what I live for.
So there's a lot of construction happening outside the cafe. You know, I've never worked this close to a crane before.
That's what you said to them?
It was just like a empty thought that came out of my mouth. And she just went...
I believe that. I sometimes do that with things. I'll be like in the middle of, like, in the shop with the other techs in the shop. I'll be working by myself and all of a sudden I just get an idea and just blurt out some nonsense that I was thinking about. Like, on my way here, I one of my friends that works in not in the shop, but he works in the store. We were talking about, hey, like, is it major or is it minor? Like, this was last week, the most random thing, like, out of the blue. And I called him, I was like, dude, so when it goes, hey, ya, they hit that G, so it's minor, but then it does that modal interchange where in the other part, it switches back to major. Like, you can kind of hear it. Like, it changes, but so random, and I left him a huge, long, like, voicemail, like, of just me ranting about why it is this and why it's not that. I'm sure some nerd on the internet will be like, well, it's actually this, but
leave it in the comments.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong, please. I have a really bad filter. I don't know how to just filter things. I get called out for it pretty much every day, daily. Especially Caroline that works with me. She's like, why did you say that? I'm like, I don't know. This is my brain. It's firing off all the cogs are just spinning at the wrong time. It's just like this thought, then this thought. You got to see me. I'll work on like 4 guitars at one time and then forget why I worked on the one and then move to another one. And I'll come back to it and I'll be like, what was I doing again?
Do you ever, like, when you're doing that, have, like, oh, you're like, okay, I know I need to do this thing for this guitar and this thing for this guitar. Do you ever swap those?
Yeah. One time I gave a customer the wrong saddle. Like, I just put the wrong piece in and whatever. And he was like, hey, this is not the one that was originally in there. I was like, I'm so sorry. They were right next to each other. And I just, like, must have had them both in my hands and went, this goes there. Granted, like, I try really hard to note things now. Now every guitar has a note for you. I mean, when I was at Blackbird, let's go back to Blackbird for a second. The patch bay thing, knowing where everything goes and then running back to the console and getting that set up and getting the computer, all the channels lined up. Like, being in Blackbird made me more like that. Because it was always just like, oh, you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you had to do that. You got to go run and make sure the mic's working. And if you were there by yourself, like, who the fuck is going to click it out? Like, you know what I mean? You had to go run over there to that mic, put it in, run back to the room, make sure it was clicking out or whatever.
Yep.
So it's just
just like labeling everything. I feel like Blackbird, it's peak of what you can do with production, honestly. Yeah. And so when you're surrounded by just like that level of expertise and professionalism, you can't unsee that.
You have to always multitask when you're like in that sort of scene
while being a good hang. I feel like that was like the biggest thing I took away from Blackbird is like, you have to be a good hang.
Yeah, I definitely a couple of times I wasn't a good hang because I was like stressed. I was like, the patch bay's not working. Does anybody in this room know why it's not working right now? Did I plug it into the wrong ins and outs? Like, what the hell is going on?
And then they forget to tell you, like, oh yeah, this hasn't worked for like 12 years.
They're all the same. Like, they're not all the same. They're all on different kind of systems.
And some of them are broken and haven't been fixed. And then you don't know that. And then...
God, I'm sweating just thinking about it. Holy smokes. Because I remember, like, it was a nightmare. And when I had to do, like, a patch bay test, too.
I wish I could go back to Blackbird, honestly.
Me too. I
feel like
I'd be a better student.
That would be really interesting if there was a school model like Blackbird where you did the first 6 months and then you just like worked for like 5 years, but then you had the opportunity to go back and like finish.
Oh my God.
I feel like that would be, because, you know, I went to Blackbird when I was 18 and I had no recording experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so starting from ground zero, being that young, I feel like I absorbed as much as I could. But if I went 10 years later at my age now,
Yeah.
it would be completely different. And I would,
Yeah, you'd respect the process more.
Mm-hmm.
When you're 18, it's like fuck all. Like when I was 18, I was
I was just getting out.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
honestly,
let's go.
I was a piece of shit. Like if I'm being so honest, like I was like, hey, I was just looking to have a good time all the time, even during class. Like now I know that you have to have a learning time. You can't have a good time. You can have a good time later.
Yeah.
Once you've learned this stuff. If I could go back, I severely would take many more moments to be like, hey, so does this do this?
Yeah.
I needed to ask that question so many times in Blackbird, but I never asked because it was so fast. But I know they were willing to do it afterwards, but I just was always like, now I realize at this point, it's like, if they wanted me to do well, I had to ask anyways. I couldn't just pick it up. Like if there was questions, there needed to be a moment in time, but just pick the right moment, you know?
I've actually thought about getting tattoos so many times. I just can't pull the trigger on one because
Wait, do you have any tattoos?
No.
No?
I don't. But I have a lot of tattoo ideas. I can't pull the trigger on one because I don't really like the artists. Oh, that's bad. I don't really like the artists that I've met lately about it.
Do you have like a style of tattooing that you're drawn to?
I like more of the realistic thing. I'm not really into like the...
See, I like the American traditional style. Like aside from this one here, like I will move forward with like getting different American traditional style just to have it all cohesive.
I do like the realistic kind of thing though. I don't know. I mean, like my opinion will change as I get older and I decide to pull the trigger on it. But
You should just get a tattoo of your face on your arm.
On my arm.
Yeah.
So when I look down, I'm just like, this was me then. Me and the mullet. Jeez. This is the first time
Like how like baller would that be? Like,
having a tattoo of
Of
yourself.
yourself?
I mean, that says a lot with confidence. You're like, you're either like somebody you got either dared to do it, or you just think you're like the shit. You're like, fuck yeah, that's me.
I feel like people would take you so seriously if you did that.
Either that, or they think I'm a biggest fucking joke on the planet.
Well, that's when you lean into the 48 laws of power, and they'll think you're a joke, but really you're the most powerful person in the room.
Hell yeah. Way to play that. Fucking all angles right there. You're just a loser either way. I'm the winner here.
Yes.
I'm confident, dude. Just fuck off.
So that's what we're going for.
Gotta have that type of confidence. You gotta know how to read a room too. You gotta be the one that knows how to ball out. Also, know when not to ball out.
Yeah. It's a delicate dance.
I don't dance very delicately. I'll say that. My dancing
You
is
should
more
have seen me and Theo dancing earlier. We were kind of hoping you'd walk in like right when
it happened.
because we were like stomping on the ground.
Heck yeah, that's tribal dancing right there. That's how they used to do it back then, around the fire with like with the drums.
Yeah,
that's my type of dancing. Like hey yeah, hey yeah. Oh man, is that racist, dude? I don't even know. Don't cancel me, please. I'm too young to do that. I'm not. No, you know what? Fuck it. Full send. Cancel me, motherfucker. Let it already happen so that I can get used to the pain.
Yeah.
Then I'll rebirth by just having an apology video on the internet.
There you go. You could sing.
Yeah, and I'd be like, I'm so sorry.
Auto-tune.
It's like, I'm so sorry.
But then it's actually an AI version of you.
It's not even me. Dude, can I be honest? Apology videos I find so cringy. I find them so cringy when people like make a mistake. You're human. You fucked up. Of course you made a mistake. If you apologize,
Are we going to get into cancel culture right now?
I mean, I don't know. That's how this brain works. Just let it run. Let the motor run. When I get on a bike, I don't say where we're going. I just kind of follow the track. The track's taking me.
I don't know. It's back to being a delicate dance. It is knowing where to do that personally and publicly. There's knowing the platform. Yeah, I think that's the ultimate thing is like, especially with like YouTubing specifically, it's such a personal endeavor because you're in my office in my home right now and people are going to be seeing
culture.
this.
I'm not a bad person, I swear.
Like, technically, this is not like a stage.
No,
you know,
no.
and I think we've talked about this where comedy, like, I do think that if you're on a stage to go to a comedy show, all bets are off.
Yeah. I've been to
because
yeah.
you know that everything on there is a joke. Now, not everyone's humor is for everyone.
You can't be sensitive.
Right.
If you know you're making a joke or making a joke video, like it's like I've been front row at comedy shows and they have ripped me apart. Like,
And that's the best part.
I loved it. I was like, I like the abuse. Keep going. Like, this is fun.
This is my therapy.
Like, help me laugh through the pain about my life sucks right now. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's where I think there needs to be a distinctive, you know,
That's the thing.
if most of your content is comedic and funny, like people expect that from you, then yes, okay. But
Yeah.
also, like, everyone's trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to tell, like, is he joking? Is he not joking?
Yeah, dude, it makes me scared to talk to new people. Like, I am genuinely, when I go to meet new people, I am genuinely terrified of the fact that I'm going to say something that's going to offend somebody because I just can't be, like, I genuinely crack jokes. There's no, like, off limits with me. Like, I tend to crack jokes pretty much all the time. So when I first meet somebody, like, that's my first go-to. I like to try to make somebody laugh. I'm not a comedian. I'm not that funny. I laugh at my own things and I think that they're hilarious and they could have been so dumb. But, like, I love doing that with people because I'm not good at the whole icebreaker thing. I'd much rather much rather take a bigger leap and make fun of their shirt, and hopefully they'll make fun of me back. I find that very enjoyable. And maybe that's not everybody's thing, and I know that. And, you know, I'm very well aware of that. But I think that it's fun.
Yeah. And I think, too, and I've talked to you about this, and I've had conversations with Theo, where humor is a litmus test for where people are at in their lives.
Yeah.
Because some people can take a joke really well, even, like, some of the worst jokes. And then, you know, like, okay, they're in a good space. They're, like, their self-esteem is good. Their confidence is good. And I feel like whenever, like, say you did the same thing, but, like, 5 years later, and maybe they wouldn't be able to take the same joke the same way.
Yeah.
And that kind of says something about, like, where they're at. And so humor is a good thing to have and use as a tool to get to know people.
Yeah.
And know how to interact with them.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with that. I you know, you and I have talked about that before, but I think that that's so important. And granted, like, I'm sure I get offended about things. I'm human. I make mistakes and all the other BS that happens with being a human. But, like, I try really hard to just, like, do that often because, you know, you life is life. If you can't laugh at the funny things and the bad things and the terrible things and the great things and the actual funny things that are just, like, warp written to be a joke and not just, like, spontaneous moments, like, you're going to be miserable getting offended every day. How do you live with that? Like, getting so stressed every day because somebody said something that's the wrong thing for you. Like,
I hope it's something that we do figure out as a society. And I think, like anything in the news, you blow up the most outrageous things.
Yeah.
And so not, you know, one person doesn't represent a whole community of people, you know. And
no,
so
I don't represent a bunch of people. No, hell no.
Yeah.
No, I'm me. Me thinks like this, and, you know,
Yeah.
me is not always correct.
And I think most people, it sucks because I think what's, like, played on the big screen is most people can't take a joke. But, you know, it sucks because, like, then when you're connecting with just, like, a regular person, it's like, oh, they could crack a joke. They could take a hit, you know.
Yeah, like, yeah, I think that that's, like you said at the beginning, like, knowing that from the get-go just sets the night up. I couldn't imagine not trying that anymore after doing it for so many years. I don't even know how I'd break the ice. Like, if I was sitting in the bar and I wanted to talk to the person next to me, I don't even know how I'd do it anymore.
You just say, man, I've never worked this close to a crane before.
They just get up and leave. They're just like, what?
All right. So what is the consensus for the tea, do you think?
Oh, I feel great right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Did we drink all of them? Or wait, how did we do that?
So you steep however long you want, however many times you want. So this is a gaiwan, which is what's traditionally been used in Chinese tea ceremonies since the concept of drinking tea has been around.
Right.
Actually, a fun fact, Jenny, who is my tea lady, she used to talk about how they would use the bowls that they ate their, like, soups out of for tea afterwards, she's like, yeah, my tea would still be oily, like from the oil from the dish. So anyways,
Wow.
with that, you get multiple steeps out of it. And so you get like this bell curve of flavor in tea. And green tea has like a shorter bell curve. So we've probably kind of used most of the flavor out of this round of steeping. So we've had probably like 5 or 6.
Teas? Like
5 or 6 cups of that, yeah.
Oh, wow. So is that a lot for tea? 5 or 6 cups?
5 or 6 is a good amount for like a green tea. There are like some teas, like a pu'er tea, which is a fermented black tea. And actually there's different kinds of pu'er tea. So that you can steep, goodness, like 15 to 20 times. And it would still maintain, like,
Still
and
work.
it is as black as coffee.
Wow.
It's so strong. And it is like, fermented pu'er is like the highest caffeine count. It's also known as poop tea because it's really good for helping you poop.
Well, you heard it here first. And that's how we're going to end it. No, I'm kidding.
I think the last thing that'd be kind of interested to talk about is like, what have you found about yourself living in Nashville as a musician?
There's too many of us. Stop coming here. With the traffic is insane. 8 years ago,
I was
it
so
was
mad at traffic this morning.
Yeah, what the hell?
So mad. And it's always 24. It's always 24 going into town. There's an
God.
accident.
Yeah.
Like I was literally listening to the radio, hitting the traffic that the radio was talking about. And I was so mad. Aside from traffic though, in terms of being in Music City, like
Diamond, you could throw a quarter and find like a producer, a mixing engineer, a dude who played on Toby Keith's song. Like, you know what I mean? You could just
Rip.
find these people. Yeah, Rip. Honestly, I didn't mean to quote that out there, but I mean, it's a great place to meet people if you're social. If you're an introvert, oh my God, you're gonna have the hardest time. You have to go out. You have to try things.
It's been very hard for me.
Yeah. My first few years here, I was like super introverted, didn't talk to anybody. I was like not meeting anybody. I was not doing well. And it wasn't until like I went to Luthier school within this last like couple years that like things changed because I was just like, fuck it. I just got to like put myself out there and see what happens because otherwise I wouldn't probably have gotten the job that I have now and I wouldn't have met you.
That's crazy.
You know, it was because I was like, I'm going to do this. Like when the job came through at the school, I was the first one to apply. I saw it immediately. I was like, I'm applying right now. I'm going to ask my teacher, I need your help. Hey, what should I do for this? Yada, yada, yada. I mean, you asked me like 5 years ago, it would have been like, I would have got to it like next week. Because I was just like, I'm going to play it out. We'll see how it goes. Like, is it going to be the right job for me? No, I was like, fuck it, full send. We'll get fired later, dude. Let's just fucking rock this shit. They don't like me. I don't like them. It's fine. We can move on to the next thing. I'm just going to go out there, try them, meet people, meet this new place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like a very new thing for me. I've had the last couple years of my life.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like I had more of that when I was younger. Like specifically between like 20 and like 25.
Oh my God, I'm so opposite of that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Because now I'm at a point in life where I'm like, I'm looking forward to like settling down and getting a little more chill and just like enjoying the regular stuff. Like honestly, because I don't know if I've told you my whole like scheme.
I don't think I know your whole scheme, but I think I know your little plan, like the little bits of your plan. Not little plan, but like little bits of it.
Yeah. So Theo and I, like we always have talked about like building our own like homestead. And so for me, do you know anything about like earth ships? Have I talked to you about earth ships? So they're 100% sustainable buildings. They're really cool. I'll have pictures on the screen.
Earth ships.
But they're made out of like recycled tires and glass bottles. And
wow.
they're made to like function with the earth's rotation. So then it naturally heats and cools.
Holy smokes.
It's really cool. And there's one in Nashville, in Gallatin actually, that I helped build for like a day. I spent a whole fucking day pounding one tire. But anyways, so Theo has his dream house build that he wants to do, like a concrete structure that he wants to do. So our plan is to build both, and we'll probably live in the Theo's build, but then the earth ship I want to turn into a studio and have people stay. So like there's like the main living room area, which will be the tracking room. There'll be a kitchen, 4 bedrooms, and in the front, so it's like usually just one level with a hallway, and the hallway has a bunch of windows that are, you know, directed a certain way off the angle of the earth towards the sun. So that's part of how it naturally heats and cools the building. But also you put in a greenhouse inside. And so you can grow year round different fruits and vegetables and not have an issue. So, and then have that be connected with like a tunnel system to our place.
Holy smokes. I'm trying to like picture it as you're saying it. That's crazy. That's honestly really cool. I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff, but like, or any type of architecture or anything like that. I just know how to build guitars. That's pretty much it. That's it.
Build a house of guitars.
Even that, I'm not that great at that. But like, we try.
We do it.
Yeah, we try. But I mean, that's amazing. The fact that you're thinking about that is cool because I'm trying to figure out like where to go to my next apartment so that they won't complain about the noise. You've got your shit together, as I've learned that I need to do better in life.
I'm just trying. That's all I'm doing.
I'm trying to, but our trying is really different. It's very, very different.
I feel like I'm like the big sister.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the feeling like I'm like fuck like it. She's like, you need to get your shit together all the time. Just not you're not even.
He was
saying
texting photos of oat milk to me to see if it was okay to drink.
I was like, yo, is this milk chill? Is that what I said?
I mean,
Very
probably
Gen
you
Z
left
of
it in the refrigerator.
I mean, all right, they're taking it literally. Yeah, it was chilled. I was like, and then she tells me it's going to give me liver cancer. Is that right? I'm like, fucking hey, dude, you kidding me? I was like, I just threw it away. I was like, well.
Did you really?
Well, I mean, cancer like runs in my family. So I'm just like not trying to dabble with it. Like, you know what I mean? It's too many people. Well, I don't want to.
Reading ingredients list is going to be the biggest thing. That's all I got to say is, unfortunately. Like, if you can't pronounce it, probably don't drink it.
That's, yeah. Well, I can't pronounce a lot of words, so that's not going to help me very much. But, yeah.
All right.
We talked for a while.
We did talk for a while.
Ending is hard.
Ending is hard.
Especially with our
fading.
banter. Like,
yeah.
I feel like we just keep going. I don't know what it is.
I'm always like, oh, yeah, and then this thing happened. You know, I've never worked this close to a crane before.
I felt the same thing.
All right. Well, my name is Steffi.
I'm Dave. Hi.
This is my channel.
This is the T channel. What did you call it again?
Running Wild TV.
Running Wild TV. You've heard it here first, folks.